On the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Except in Portland and Chicago. And actually, I think Boston had a issue recently too. Number of places not happy, not safe to live. You know what's funny though? What's the funny part? The appellate court came back, put a stay on everything going on. Told you they would. I actually got to watch it. I watched it at like 1.75 speed. And I was really good the whole time. The 3-panel judges were not having this at all. It was funny. They're very proper in how they criticize, I would say. But it was actually pretty interesting to watch. And that was one of the things I've been kind of curious about, some of this legal crap. They got a lot of lawyers in the family. I don't particularly like law. I don't like arguing, but nonetheless, it's crazy. So we got a lot going on. Everyone's talking about giving Trump a Nobel Peace Prize, because there's now apparently peace in Israel. We got some information around that. And he had his meeting with the people like Andy Ngo and all those people from the Antifa stuff. I got a bunch of video from that, so we're going to jump into all of the shenanigans, a.k.a. my show, right here. Before we get started, I wanted to point this out. I think a lot of you guys will enjoy this tremendously. Turning Point USA. They are doing their own version of a halftime show. This is kind of crazy. They are literally going to do a family-friendly, wholesome show. It's going to be announced soon. I'm very curious to see who they get. I bet it'll be people like Kid Rock, someone to that level that could actually put on a kick-ass halftime show. And can you imagine what would happen if so many of us actually tuned out, literally maybe shut the TV off during the halftime and watched the other one instead? Oh, that would be tragic for the NFL, and it would teach a valuable lesson to evil on this planet. Yeah, we're doing really well, guys. You guys, it's very well. I haven't actually watched this. I'm assuming it's good. Stephen A. Smith, he just dropped a reality bomb on Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. I want to hear this, because when he's kind of in agreement with the rest of us, I kind of like this Stephen A. Smith feller. I like him a lot. And I think he's kind of going presidential, but he knows he's got to come back towards the center, and I think he's doing that. Again, not a big sports guy, but I like this guy. He's pretty cool. Anyway, whatever the case is, check this out. He was with Cuomo.
When Trump sits down and says, hey, if you want my help, I'm more than willing to give it to you because the streets are not safe in various parts of this nation. I have been on the record stating that while I'm sure crime exists everywhere, I'm from the streets of New York City. Hell, it exists here. I'm sure it exists in Memphis and Portland and L.A. and stuff like that. I get that part. Chicago has always been a special scenario for me because Obama was in office as a junior senator. He was in the Capitol as a junior senator. It was going on then. It was going on before then. It was going on when he got there. Mm-hmm. It was going on when he was the president of the United States. It was going on when he departed and Trump was there his first term. It was going on with Biden, and it's still going on. And I don't believe, and I don't care what the data says, I don't care what kind of numbers they try to throw out at us. It has always, if you are a black person, you cannot deny how disturbing it repeatedly is that most often when you hear about violence, particularly in the streets of America, never escapes you that Chicago is always mentioned. And little to nothing has been done about it from a national perspective. So what you find yourself saying is, on one hand, Governor Pritzker, I don't agree with Donald Trump trying to send National Guardsmen to Chicago against your will. But I would also ask Governor Pritzker, why isn't it in your will to ask the feds for assistance? Because it appears like you've needed it.
And that's what's happening to the Democrats right now. That's what's screwing them. And again, this is their own making. Everyone says it's a movie. Okay. There's times where I'm like, it seems to be totally a movie. But I don't think these people are I don't think they're intentionally reading a script. I think they literally are so baked in the head that it's almost a guarantee they're going to behave this way. Seems to, anyways. Kyle Chaney posted this. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has temporarily stayed Judge Immergut's order blocking the federalization of the Oregon National Guard. But the judge's second order prohibiting the deployment of federalized troops in Portland remains in effect because they didn't actually ask for a block on that, which is very interesting. There was an assumption that that part would go with the first. And I think the judges are making a point that you should have filed that, dude. That was kind of stupid. So they're going to have to do an emergency filing on that part. Whatever the case is, it's a step in the right direction. Hey, right? It's so crazy how things are playing out right now. It was actually good. It seemed like all three of them were reasonably conservative. I don't know. They were asking the right kinds of questions, in my personal opinion. We have 4 Boston police officers injured trying to quell a protest. Guess it sucks there, too.
Yeah, Ed, Maria, police tell us that a total of 8 men and 5 women were arrested. Police still booking them at this hour. We also know at least 4 officers were injured. 2 taken to local hospitals. Sources tell me 1 officer suffered a broken nose, and police do confirm that broken bones are among the injuries. Boston police on the ground on Tremont Street, arresting protesters who police say assaulted officers. Tonight, Boston police say multiple officers were injured, 2 transported to local hospitals with broken bones.
People have an absolute right to protest here in the United States, but they don't have a right to injure people or throw explosives or otherwise commit chaos in our city streets.
This started as a pro-Palestinian protest on the Common, but just before 7 p.m., protesters began to move toward Tremont and Winter Streets. Police say a protester kicked a passing cruiser. Tensions escalated, and police started arresting protesters who were blocking the intersection and setting off smoke bombs. Officers setting up tactical lines and can be seen pushing back protesters who appear to be trying to interfere with arrests. Ed Davis is a former police commissioner of Boston who has responded to hundreds of protests in his career.
And most people are there peacefully and just want to exercise their First Amendment rights. But there's always a small group that are intent upon chaos. And many of these are anarchists. They just want to throw off any government control on anything. And these are the individuals that have to be taken seriously. They have to be dealt with strictly by the courts.
And those protesters will go before a judge in the morning. Our thanks tonight to the student journalists at Emerson College who were covering this protest when the violence broke out. We're live in Boston tonight.
Yeah, but they're going to let them out immediately is what they're going to do. So, again, this is just a bunch of nonsense. I probably shouldn't have played all that. But whatever. The meeting, folks. We got a bunch of video from this. This was pretty cool. I actually watched a bunch of this, but then I found the judges live, and I was like, oh, I got to watch that. I was so curious. Anyway, this is the group. This is all of them, right? I don't know all their names. Andy No in the middle is the only one I really know. I think Nick Sorter's this dude right here. Yeah, just hottie. I don't know who that is, but I want to. Yeah. Oh, and Pozo's over there with his rosary, I think. That's pretty cool. Looks like a rosary, anyways. Yeah, don't know any of these other people. I know. Shame on me, people. Bad man walking. Oh, here is where I was watching some of that, and that was actually pretty good. So, a lot of stuff going on. I think this is where Trump starts it off. It's like 3 minutes of him, and I think it's grooviness, actually. Not just grooviness. It's right here.
This is not just a story about violence and chaos, as you alluded to, Mr. President. This is a money story. And at the Government Accountability Institute, my colleague and I, Peter Schweitzer and our team, we followed the money, and we followed it to the top of what we call the protest industrial complex.
Whoops. Explains that, though, by the way. So, yeah, this isn't Trump.
Riot Inc. And we found a network of NGOs. It's not just the Soros network, the Open Society network. It's other funding networks, the Arabella funding network, the Tides funding network, Neville Roy Singham and his network, Foreign Cash. And it's also big left-wing funders. Some of them are not citizens of this country. Mr. Hans-Jörg Wyss of Switzerland. They're pouring money into this entire ecosystem. And so I want to share 3 money facts with you about what we call Riot Inc. Number 1, like any corporation, Riot Inc. has many divisions. It doesn't just have the Antifa boots on the ground division. It has PR divisions. It has marketing divisions. It has a very well-funded legal division to get these boots on the ground back on the streets as quickly as possible. But it does have those investors that I mentioned. Number 2, we have identified dozens of radical organizations, not just the decentralized Antifa organizations, but dozens of radical organizations that have received more than $100 million from the Riot Inc. investors. These would be the lawyer groups. These would be the groups that advocate for calling good, honest Americans fascists, et cetera. And then 3, I think the most shocking thing is that we have found that more than $100 million in U.S. taxpayer funding has flowed into these funding networks, including at least $4 million to these very groups themselves, not just Antifa types, but there was an event in Atlanta called Stop Cop City. Over 60 rioters were charged with domestic terrorism. These groups received money for that from both the billionaire class as well as taxpayer money. So one other thing, this money helps fund the decentralized crowdfunding platforms. These are ways that Antifa, the John Brown Gun Club of Elm Fork, which had links to that attack on the ICE facility, the Socialist Rifle Association, and just because they don't have LLCs or EIN numbers doesn't mean they can't get paid. Some of these funding platforms, crowdfunding platforms, are funded by this network that we call Riot Inc. So again, I want to thank you for your leadership, for the whole cabinet's leadership on this. We're going to keep following the money and appreciate everything you're doing, sir.
Do you know the name of any of the funders? Do you know the names? Because if you do, I'd like you to give them to Cash or Pam.
Absolutely.
Or Christy.
Yeah, we'll do that.
As soon as you can. That's all of you. Because you probably know the names after a certain period of time. You tend to find out. But these are people that do not have good intention for the country, and that's treasonous probably. So if you could, very important, if you could do that, it would be great. Nobody would know better than you. You'll figure it out.
He is so good at playing to people's egos. Yeah, I guess I could read some of this stuff and it would help a little bit. But yeah, needless to say, we got, again, a bunch of video. Maybe this is the one. This is Pam Bondi talking. This is pretty good too. Check it out.
As you made clear, Antifa is a domestic left-wing terrorist organization. We've seen them on video for years because they wanted to be seen and they got away with it. They beat journalists, they attack courthouses, they attack police stations, they dox and assault our law enforcement officers. The Biden administration let them commit these crimes with total impunity for years. So did Democrat leaders like Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson. Last week, independent journalist Nick Sorter was arrested just for protecting himself against Antifa. I saw it online and I called Nick. I couldn't believe what happened. He did all this just trying to save our American flag from being burned. He was pushed down and assaulted, yet the local police arrested Nick, not the Antifa thugs who did this to him. Antifa feels empowered to operate in the open because weak Democrats have turned a blind eye to their actions. Their hatred for President Trump and for law and order agendas fuels their violence. We've seen more than 1,000% increase in attacks against our ICE agents since January 20th. Secretary Noem is out there fighting for you firsthand to keep our federal officers safe, to keep our federal buildings safe, and we're not going to have it anymore, these thugs. We saw what's happening in Portland and Chicago, and you saw what happened in Dallas. No longer. This is not activism, it's anarchy. We can't and we will not let masked terrorists burn our buildings, attack our law enforcement, and intimidate our communities. Under your leadership, President Trump, we're deploying the full might of the federal law enforcement to crack down on Antifa and other domestic terrorist organizations led by Stephen Miller. And Stephen, thank you for everything you're doing. Last week, I issued a memo ordering our federal law enforcement agents, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, and ATF to protect ICE officers from Antifa and other radical left-wing violence. Director Patel has been going non-stop. He and Deputy Attorney General Blanche were in Chicago yesterday. While Secretary Noem was in Portland, we are around this country fighting against this domestic terrorism. We had Apple and Google take down the ICE block apps. Hope they continue to comply with that. It's threatening the safety of our federal law enforcement officers. We're not going to stop at just arresting the violent criminals we can see in the streets. Fighting crime is more than just getting the bad guy off the streets. It's breaking down the organization brick by brick. Just like we did with cartels, we're going to take the same approach, President Trump, with Antifa. Destroy the entire organization from top to bottom. We're going to take them apart. Thanks to your bold leadership and the designation of Antifa as a terrorist organization, which is exactly what they are, Americans will no longer tolerate their unhinged violence.
What's sad is their intention was always to focus this apparatus against us, and they were doing it during the Biden administration. But we've turned it on them. It's again, the hunter becoming the hunted, all that stuff. This is Trump. Okay, so this is actually Trump talking. Only 47 seconds, but good enough. This is all pretty good stuff.
Are you going to work with your administration as the Secretary of State's here? Are you going to work with your administration to designate it a foreign terror organization?
You mean a terror?
Antifa? A foreign terror organization.
Well, has that been done? Pretty close, right? Would you like to see it done?
Yes, Mr. President.
Do you think it would help?
They have foreign links
I'd be glad
all
to
across
do it.
Western
I think it's
Europe.
the kind of thing I'd like to do. If you'd like, does
Middle
everybody
East.
agree? If you agree, I agree. Let's get it done. Okay? Let's get it done. Marco, we'll take care of it.
Mr. President.
That's international, you mean?
Yes.
International.
Mr. President.
Sounds good to me.
Foreign terror organization.
Steve, are you okay with it?
Yes, it's true. There are extensive foreign ties, and I think that would be a very valid step to take.
Good, I think so too.
Yes.
Good, I think it's a good point. Thank you.
Are you going
That's significant. So they're going to make them an international terror group, which means we can then start to go after other components of this, and or it'll affect travel for some of these people as well. So just a lot of, and I'm sure a whole number of other things. Here's Andy No talking about his experience, which I don't know if you guys didn't know Andy No's experience. Well, now you know it.
And I was assigned to cover the election night demonstrations. Well, the elections night protests turned to riots, 3 days of violent rioting in Portland, and it was the first time that I saw groups dressed in black with their faces covered. This was 4 years before COVID. Some of them were waving the black flag of anarchism, some the red flag of Marxism, and within seconds they would ravage one street to another, to another, to another. And the next day I would read the legacy media, which I still read at that time and looked forward to, and I looked up to those journalists, and I was really shocked to see that the narrative was that these, in my view, anti-democratic political violence was legitimate acts of protest because people were concerned about racism or all these other lies. And so for the next 4 years, I just continued going out with my video camera. I thought, look, people can ignore what I write because of spin, but videos can quite speak for themselves. And in 2019, it led to me nearly losing my life. I was covering another Antifa protest turned riot. At that point, had been routine in Portland. And then I was ambushed in a mall beating. And I had never been in a fight. I didn't even realize that I was being assaulted until seconds in. And the punches came from everywhere on my head and my face, and I was bleeding out of my eyes and ears. And then they threw all the drinks in my eyes to humiliate me further and to laugh at me. And I was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance and CT scan, and I had subarachnoid hemorrhage, which is bleeding the brain. I nearly died. And after surviving that, the reporting that I saw in liberal media it seemed to suggest that I had deserved it because they branded me far right, and some even went so far as to suggest that I maybe faked my injuries. A BuzzFeed reporter asked for my medical records, which I did provide, but this felt so, it's like because I didn't die in that attack, there was another round of people who wanted to finish me off.
It is an interesting group of people that wish death on anybody. I mean, frankly, anybody that wishes death on anybody, I have a hard time with. It doesn't matter what political side of the fence you're on, frankly. But here's Nick Sorter talking about the flag and how he took it and all this good stuff.
Years now. So thank you guys so much for taking this seriously. And President Trump, you mentioned that flag. So remember, you put out a truth right after
That's right. I saw that.
Took this flag from that man that was burning it in the street.
Do you know who he is?
Oh yeah, I know exactly who it is.
So why don't you give it to Pam? Give it to the Attorney General, and let's start prosecutions.
Yeah. I actually have a second flag that he tried to burn as well. So I have two of them from the same guy.
Well, you also saw what happened when that flag started burning. Everyone went crazy. That's right. And that's when it started, when they started burning the flag. So thank you. If you could give the information, it would be great.
Absolutely.
And at least that horrible night made you famous.
I got a text from the President of the United States, so I appreciate that.
And President Trump, after that.
Yeah, Trump did actually text him, too. That was pretty nice of him. But yeah, that Nick Sorter story, big time. Here is Katie Daviscourt telling her story as well.
I'm an investigative journalist from Seattle. I work for the Post Millennial alongside Andy No and Jack Posobiec. I have been infiltrating Antifa cells in Seattle and Portland for the past decade. I know their inner workings, and Antifa uses extreme political violence to crush the civil rights of their political enemies and believes that violence is justified by any means necessary. But today, I want to focus on what is happening in Portland at the ICE facility. I've been covering this for the past 4 months, and this is a call out to corporate media who has completely ignored this story or has falsely reported on it. This is nothing short other than a sustained attack on the United States, which is being supported by Democratic elected officials. The Portland Police Bureau has completely abandoned several blocks outside the ICE facility, giving away their jurisdiction to a terrorist group who has spent the past 4 months harassing, assaulting, and intimidating anyone they perceive to be against their cause. Not only have federal agents been relentlessly assaulted for more than 100 consecutive days, black-clad anarchist militants concealing their identities behind black facial coverings have been assaulting reporters just for trying to cover their crimes. Today, I am sitting here with a black eye and a concussion after being violently hit in the face with a metal pole while reporting outside the ICE facility just this past week. After the attack, I immediately went to three Portland police officers who refused to detain the suspect. I took the time to chase down the suspect in the streets, had her held for 35 minutes. I was waiting for Portland police to come, and they never came.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up. Like, I mean, yeah, I don't want to. I mean, almost at that point, that's defense. Just, I guess you'd get a couple little punchers in or something, maybe. I don't know. Independent journalist Brandy Cruz admits Trump's. Oh yeah, she is the one that had Trump derangement syndrome. Talks about how she's been healed. It is. I don't know if she took ivermectin. She might have done the mebendazole cleanse. You got to want the parasite cleanse. Got rid of that Trump derangement syndrome.
I'm living proof that you can recover from TDS. I had strong Trump derangement syndrome for probably 8 years. This is one of the reasons I recovered from it. And by the way, it's much better to not have TDS. I'm happier, I'm healthier, more successful. I even think I got a little more attractive after I got rid of my Trump derangement syndrome. Yes. You know, I'm a reporter in Seattle, and frankly, I could not care any less what any of you have to say about this meeting. Could not care any less. We're not here for you. I'm not here to convince any of you that Antifa is a real thing, because if you have not come to that conclusion by now, you are never going to come to that conclusion because you don't want to see it. And you're going to go and you're going to say it's a bunch of right-wing conservative influencers who are here spinning a tale. I was one of you. I was a mainstream reporter in Seattle for 10 years. I was a TV reporter on the streets doing my job, and I was still assaulted by Antifa. So it's not about being conservative. It's about people who go there and show what they're doing. And when I saw, after all those years, that the media wouldn't be honest about what was happening, that Democratic politicians wouldn't be honest about what was happening, I thought, well, gosh, if they're not being honest about that, maybe they're not being honest about President Trump either. And it opened my mind to just looking at things for what they were. And now I find you quite funny, actually. Now it's like I said, I'm much happier.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. When you can step away from the fact that you hate the man and then you just be like, all right, well, yeah, I guess he's done a couple good things. Yeah, you actually start to appreciate what he brings to the table. There's quite a few things, especially considering how much he's been through to get here. Police did arrest the man, finding hundreds of homemade explosives and a manifesto targeting Catholics, Jews, and the Supreme Court and ICE. This is the guy that was out front of I talked about it, I think, Sunday, but he was out front of the Supreme Court. They're supposed to have the red mass or whatever they call it, the red day or something, was when the Supreme Court comes back. He put a bunch of improvised explosives, and it sounds like they were like M80s and stuff. I don't know, but he was talking about throwing one over to a tree and the tree is going to disappear. I think the dude sounds a little nutsos, but he somehow came here across state lines. I want to say he might have been from where is he from? Tennessee or something like that? Whatever the case was, he's not from D.C. area, but needless to say, came there for these horrible experiences. There's a really cool graph in here that I want to share. So they focus on one of these. I actually think there's a few, but this is just a stupid poll. Okay, it's Harvard, Capps, Harris poll. So two of the names in there right off the bat I don't like. And President Trump does all caps. So 1/3 of it's good, right? We got Capps. I'm kidding, of course. I mean, right? But Harvard, I don't trust. Harris. So whatever. Is what it is. Lowering prescription drug prices for Medicare recipients and low-income patients. 86% of everybody wants to see drug prices come down. I would even say that. I don't think you should take the drugs, but yeah, they're way the frick too expensive. Obamacare F that up too. Deporting immigrants who are here illegally and have committed crimes. 78%. Both Democrats and Republicans. 69% Dems only. If they've committed crime, let's kick them the hell out. That's pretty crazy. Eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse in the government. 75% across the board. 51% Democrats. See, they actually like spending generally, but they're in a tough place right now because they realize, well, you mean we're not just going to raise taxes on everybody? This is one of the things that pisses me off. It's like there's this impression from the elderly, no offense to elderly, but there is this impression that it's gotten more expensive for certain drugs or Social Security's not enough. So obviously the younger generation's got to pay more to make sure that you're okay. And it's, to me, seems unfair. I mean, this is where either family's got to come help or something, right? Like, or hopefully, I don't know. But the idea of forcing others beneath you who didn't make these mistakes, right? Like this world we've got's been created over time. The older generation right now had the finest times in this world. The people that were born after World War II had the greatest go ever, especially the 80s. Oh my goodness. So a lot has happened. Banning men who have undergone operations, hormones to become women from girls' sports, 65%. Anyway, a lot of stuff in there. Making the 2017 tax cuts permanent, 62%, 44% Democrats, which is kind of surprising still. That means a lot of independent-ish, even though they do have an independent section. Those are the people that are going to start to peel. I think the Democrat Party is going to end up with like a 20% of what they had. There's just going to be some diehard, crazy-ass people that will never leave the Democrat Party, and then there's a whole bunch of people that are going to bail and become independents. Whole bunch of people. I'm expecting that independent number to get huge. And again, it's an okay place to be. You don't have to admit to anything. It's awesome. AI debt bubble they're talking about. I don't know. There's a huge amount of money being spent without any sort of product expectation, if you will. Normally, like the F-47 fighter, right? They've got like a design plan. They got a plane. They got an actual prototype. They got a mock-up. Like, this is the thing we're going to build for you. And you're like, that's cool, right? That's okay. You spend money on that because you see what you're going to get. You know. Not with AI. We have no friggin' idea what the hell's going to happen with AI. None. But we're spending over $1 trillion in the next couple of years in it. We need power. I don't know if it's all tied into it, but there's going to be a lot of people are talking about you pump that much money into something, it can sometimes create these weird companies get blowed up. NVIDIA's getting 4.5 trillion. OpenAI is getting 500 billion, right? AMD's getting similar. Oracle a little more, right? So Microsoft 3.9 trillion. Huge amounts of money. This is just something to kind of keep your mind on, or pay attention to. I'll pay attention. We'll see. We'll notice. Gold and silver down a little right now. Well, a lot actually, which is awesome. Again, it's been powering up. It's going to power back up tomorrow. You watch. It'll make these gains up. But right now, this is very indicative. It's something that they're trying desperately to stop, and it's not going well. So currently, gold's dipped back under barely 4,000. It's at 39.90, which is pretty awesome. Silver's at 47.65. It's dropped down quite a bit today. Well, actually, it looks like it's regained some because it was down much, much more earlier. It was down over 3%. Yeah, it's coming back up a little bit. Everything ramped up in the day. Gold did the same thing. It's got the same shape of spike, and then it just dropped. So some weird thing happened that they somehow managed to mess with the numbers a little bit. It's all good. It's all good. I'm telling you, though, you want out. You want out of this place. If you got a 401k or an IRA, divest out. You're sitting on money that's losing buying power every day. That's what it's all about, buying power, right? Every day that inflation is taking a bite out of your dollar that's attached to the stocks. Now, with all the crazy shit going on in the world, the stocks are also questionable right now. See, here's the thing. You don't invest in gold and silver ever as a means of making money unless the end of something is happening. Every time economies have fallen, people invested heavily into gold and silver. It's the thing that carries you through it. And then once you get through it into the other side, then you offload that gold and silver. And in the case of the new currency we're most likely going to get, it's going to be asset backed. You're already halfway there. Let my good friends help you do this process. 401k, IRA, it's over 25,000, I think. I assume on both. They just say IRA, but I assume it's both. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. It's up to 10% free silver. So if it is only 25 grand, it's better something than nothing. What could you buy with 25 grand right now? Can't even buy a car, frankly, right? Not a lot of things you can buy with it. I don't know, maybe, 10 months of rent, 12 months of rent, 15 months of rent. Maybe that's a way to look at it. If you take that buying power and put it into precious metals, that'll hold that amount of rent. So rents are going to go up over the next few years because inflation's kicking the crap out of that. The value of your gold and silver is going to go up to the point where it will still be worth that many rents. Assuming, relative things. There's a lot to take into account there. But precious metals holds that buying power. You want to go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Up to 10% free silver. You're moving it over tax-free, penalty-free. It's actual physical metals. It's put into a trust. Physical metals with your name on it. They're yours. It's not like they've got one ounce coin that 20 people own. No, there's a 1 ounce coin that you own only, right? Only you. It's in your little tubo, right? So whatever, that's yours. And if you ever want it just cashed out as such, it's an option you can do. It's considered wealth. So again, you can hang on it with the trust and keep it there. That's fine. Or you can cash out at some point. That's a choice you have. A lot of options that you don't have right now, sitting in a 401k or an IRA with cash to stocks, right? And again, with crazy stuff in the world, I'd consider it. You're probably going to get a Ronald Reagan coin, little half-ounce thing with Ronald Reagan. It's pretty sweet. And then, of course, you're going to get your kit. Teach you all about how gold and silver are actually protection, how they protect your buying power. I've said before, 1 ounce gold coin, right? 1 ounce gold coin buy you a tailored suit back in 1930. 1 ounce gold coin will buy me a tailored suit right now. It's worth almost $4,000. Back then, it was like 30 or 20 or whatever the hell it was. I think they shifted after the gold forced everybody to give all their gold. Then they doubled the price of gold. So I forget what it doubled to. And anyway, I just forget that exact number. I want to say it's like $30-ish. Whatever. This is the time you do this kind of move. You would not do this when everything's going sweet and juicy. No. You would never do precious metals at that point. You're doing stocks. You're doing probably even treasuries and everything else because there's a lot more faith in the actual currency. Not anymore. Get out while you can. That's what this is about. Divest is what we call it. If you're still doing a 401k and IRA, still paying in and they're matching, keep doing it. Divest a bunch of that balance out. It doesn't matter. You can still keep pumping money into it, and they're not going to invest your money into whatever they want. You're removing that from them as well. See, the deep state, they don't like this kind of thing. You're actually taking out a lot more than just protecting your wealth. You're actually keeping them from using your wealth in ways you don't want them to. Go to drslikeSgold.com, drslikeSgold.com. Get out of that crazy system before they get out of you. And they will. You know that. Here we did a roll call. Let's see. Senate Democrats just refused for the 7th time to reopen the federal government. So that's it. 54-45. Looks like we've only got one Democrat that voted with us. No, because I think there's one Republican that's not actually voting. And then, like Rand Paul, I think it's him. I am actually probably going to go out of my way, unless he does something ridiculous, to try. I don't know what it is about that dude. Maybe it's just, I don't know, whatever. It hasn't mattered yet, I guess. I should just calm down, right? Take some deep breaths. Dan, relax. IRS is going to furlough half of its staff as Democrat government shutdown continues. A lot of people are like, cool. And then there's a whole lot of people that do taxes quarterly that are like, fudge, because this just makes everything harder to deal with, like when you got questions or issues or whatevers. So, yeah. But, this is a step in the right direction, in my opinion. Let me just tell you that, huh? We're getting there. We're getting there, folks. Oh, this is actually pretty good, I think. This is, sorry. This is Hakeem Jeffries, and he's talking to, I don't know who this dude is. He's a Republican, I am assuming. He is well-spoken. He's super good at that talk over people thing. I love that. I mean, I don't like it in real life. It pisses me off. But when it's being used against somebody you dislike, and then Hakeem, he doesn't know how to get out of some of this. And frankly, he wasted at least 4 minutes of his life that he'll never get back. And I think that's funny, too. Whatever the case is. And can I just make a quick complaint? Shit. Oh, this is 1080? Wow, it sucks. Anyway, okay, whatever. At least it's higher. Lately, it's been bad. It's like this 480 res. It's like, oh my God, we're like watching in a stupid world. Anyway, this, I think, is pretty good. Check it out.
Did you get permission from your boss?
Why don't we sign on right now?
Did your boss, Donald Trump?
You can easily extend
did
the
your
ACA
did your
right
boss,
now.
Donald Trump,
He's
give
not
you?
my boss.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. By the way,
So let me ask you a
why
question.
did you vote to
Let me
shut
ask
the
you a
government
question.
down?
You
Why
know
did you
I-
vote to shut
Let
it
me
down?
ask you a question.
For years, you always
Well,
lectured about how we need to keep the government open.
You're making a show of this to
No,
make
it's
yourself
sad.
relevant.
It's sad. You could easily sign on to
You're
this.
embarrassing
You
yourself
could
right
sign
now.
on to this. The only
You're
embarrassment here
chasing
is you.
clout. You're an
You
embarrassment.
could sign on to the bill.
Let me ask you a question.
You have 4 Democrats on here.
Let me
Why
ask you a
won't you
question.
sign on
Let me ask
to
you a
it?
question.
It's a
Let
clean
me ask you
extension
a
for 1
question.
year.
You voted for the one big
Clean
ugly bill,
extension.
correct?
I voted for a
The
tax cut
largest-
bill that gave
the
the largest tax
largest-
cut
the
to
largest-
Americans in history,
the
including, by
largest-
the way, the average New Yorker getting a $4,000 tax cut. Are you against that?
You're embarrassing
Do you
yourself
want
right
to
now.
cut the standard deduction in
The
half? Is that
largest
what you
cut
want
to
do?
Medicaid in
No, we
American
rooted
history.
out
You voted
waste,
for that.
fraud, and abuse, by the
You
way.
voted
Tom DiNapoli, the
for a
Democratic
permanent-
controller of New
Let me
York,
ask you a question.
pointed out that $1.2 billion
If you're
were
gonna-
wasted.
Listen, you're not going to talk. You're not going to talk to me.
Wasted
You're not
on
going to talk to me
fraud
and talk
and
over
non-New
me
York residents
because you don't
getting
want to
paid.
hear what I have to say.
Oh, I'm
So
listening.
why don't
Go
you
ahead.
just keep your mouth shut?
Oh,
because you
is
showed
that-
up.
is that the way to
you
talk?
showed up. You showed up,
Yeah.
and so you voted for this one
I
big
signed
ugly
on
bill.
to this. You can extend it
A
right now.
permanent extension of massive tax breaks for your billionaire
So
donors.
90% of
So
Americans.
they can get a permanent extension.
90% of
but
Americans
working
take the
class
standard
Americans
deduction.
can't? Is that right?
90% of Americans take the standard deduction,
Is that
right?
right?
If you had your way, the standard deduction would have been cut in half. That
No
would have been a
one-
massive tax increase
no one-
on Americans all across the country.
You're
You support
here,
that?
unfortunately,
You're
to
against
do
lifting the
the
cap on
bidding
salt.
of your billionaire
You're-
donors.
the
That's
billionaire
unfortunate.
donors lifting the
That's
cap on
correct.
salt. We put a income cap in place.
Why are you here right now?
An income
Where the-
cap.
where the
Well,
rest of
didn't you
your
want all
Republican
Republicans to be here?
Where
I'm
the
here.
rest- where the rest of your
You wanted
Republican
Republicans to be here. I'm here.
Why are you
And by
here?
the way,
What-
you can pass an ACA extension right now. Sign
Did your
on to this
boss-
bill.
Did your boss
Sign
Donald
on
Trump-
to the bill.
Is your boss Donald Trump behind it?
HR 5145. Why don't you get on it?
Mike, is your boss Donald Trump behind it?
Why won't you get on it?
Because you don't work for the American people.
Oh, I do. I
You
work
don't
for the people of New
17th
York. I work for the
District.
people of my district.
Is that why you? Is that
I'm
why
here.
You got 145.
And by the way, I voted for a clean CR to keep the government open and
Mike,
funded. You
you're-
voted to shut it
you're
down.
embarrassing yourself right
Yeah,
now.
leader, with all due
Well, as we
respect,
would say
you're the
back then,
one.
why are you playing yourself?
You're the one
Why are
who
you playing
actually
yourself
voted
with
to
these
shut the
theatrics?
government down.
Actually, you
It's
know
sad.
that's not true.
It's sad. You voted to shut the government down.
Do Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the President?
Right, and you're
correct?
smart enough to know
Is
that you
right?
need 60 votes in the Senate,
Is
right?
that right? No.
Do you need 60 votes in the
Were
Senate or no?
60 votes needed to pass your one big ugly bill?
Reconciliation, which you
Was
did with
60
the IRA.
was 60
Boy, that really reduced inflation.
Are you
did a
trying to
great job
elevate
there.
yourself because you're afraid
I'm not
you're
trying to
about to
elevate
lose
myself.
re-election?
No, I'm not going to lose
Let me ask
re-election.
you
You
a
spent $42 million last cycle.
Mike,
You didn't do
Mike,
that
let me
great.
ask you a question. Why aren't you running for governor right now? You
Because
spent-
I
you spent a
actually
year and a half.
enjoy this job and I'm here to do
You
it. And
enjoy-
by the way,
you enjoy-
by the way,
you
you could
enjoy
actually
embarrassing
pass
yourself?
you could actually
You
pass
enjoy being
a
elected for
subsidy
Donald
right
Trump?
now
Is
to
that right?
ensure that people don't have healthcare premiums going up. Why won't you support this one-year
Let me
bill?
ask you a question.
Tom Swazi's on it, Jared Golden,
Let me ask you a question.
Marie
Let me ask you a
Glusenkamp
question.
Perez.
Let me ask
Are
you a
they
question.
wrong?
Your
Don
other,
Davis?
your other boss,
Are they wrong?
Your other boss, Mike Johnson. I challenged him to a debate.
Yeah.
On the floor. Did he send you?
No, I'm here
On
on my
his behalf,
behalf
because
of
he's
my
afraid to
constituents
debate. Is
because
that
you
right?
shut the government down. And my constituents are suffering as a result of your ridiculous ploy
If
because
you-
you're so afraid of Zohran Mamdani. By the way, when are you endorsing him?
By the way,
do you endorse him for mayor?
First of all, are you
going to endorse him for mayor?
Listen, you're a complete and total embarrassment right now.
Oh,
I
why
mean,
is that? Because
seriously,
you don't want to answer the question?
Is this supposed to be a video for your
You
failed
don't want
re-election?
to,
Is
you
that
don't,
what's
you don't
going
want
on
to answer
right
the
now?
question? Do you support Zohran? By the way, did you see his
Listen.
statement yesterday?
Listen.
An embarrassment on October 7th blaming the Jews. You support that?
Are-
Should he be the
Listen,
Democratic
first of all-
nominee for mayor?
First of all, I don't answer to you. You
Should
don't
he be
even
the Democratic
answer to
mayor?
yourself.
Should he be the
You don't
Democratic
even-
nominee
I'll
for
answer
mayor?
whatever questions I need to answer about
Okay,
the
so
mayor's
you think
race,
his statement
about the
yesterday was
American-
okay?
First of all,
All right. That's sad.
First of all,
It's unfortunate.
don't come with this phony.
These are bills.
No.
These are bills. They're not phony.
It's
They're
not
real
a bill
bills.
that Republicans are even.
See, the problem is Hakeem Jeffries takes an hour to say anything. And so having somebody that's from New York that already talks fast anyways, it's just going to mow his ass over. Now, I think Hakeem is from, I think he's from New York, but I don't know. I think he is though, right? I don't think he's one of our California nut jobs. We've got plenty of them in there too. They're all in there drinking wine together and stuff. I haven't listened to this, but it's probably part of their same meeting, I assume. But the White House has put the sombrero back.
Listen, you're not going to talk. You're not going to talk to me.
Wasted
You're not
on
going to talk to me.
fraud.
So anyway, they grabbed the best part. Probably we already played it. We don't need to watch it again. I mean, it was great. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to do it in Super HD. Yep, high def. We're going to put it out in the IMAX, just that part. I'm kidding, of course. Julie Kelly posted this. She said the Wall Street Journal is reporting that former FBI Director Chris Wray is under investigation. Quote, former officials have received subpoenas in recent days in Wray inquiry, according to a person with direct knowledge of the matter. Now, many would say, there's no way that Kash Patel is leaking this. No, you're 100% right. This can easily leak from Wray. This is probably true. And Julie Kelly's pretty solid, so most likely. Donald Trump truthed this out. To all the FBI agents who were forced by Christopher Wray to go to the Capitol on the afternoon of January 6th and then risked their careers to blow the whistle about the political bias and abuses they witnessed, I want to thank you for your courage and assure you that your work for Director Kash Patel and Attorney General Pam Bondi, who are stamping out political bias from the Bureau and DOJ and making sure agents pursue criminals without regard to their political stripe. Just the evidence. Keep up the good work. Yeah. Again, we are just moving in a beautiful direction. I'm just going to play the first little bit of this. This chick hops in her shot. This is the lady that's running for California Democratic gubernatorial. She wants to be a gubernator. Right? I don't know why I love that word, gubernatorial. Always makes me think of Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was a governor. He was awesome. He ran as a Republican. I mean, you know, he did not terminate anybody. That was definitely didn't. Whatever, though. He ended up dating a Kennedy. Who knows what he did to her? Yeah, might have affected her. Collateral damage. Every line sounds the same. Kindergarten, it's not a tumor. Anyway, I'm done. Okay, I'm sorry. I have issues, folks. I can't help myself sometimes. Go.
Get out of my fucking shot. A newly resurfaced video has emerged of California Democratic gubernatorial candidate Katie Porter losing it, this time by ruthlessly yelling at a staffer who was seen walking into her shot on a video call.
To air pollution and other problems, and the state could lose. Get out of my fucking shot. I wanted to tell you that that's actually. You also were.
I'm pretty sure we could call her a cunt, right? I mean, is that wrong? I know it's a rough word to say, but I honestly think the Brits are onto something. The Aussies do it. Kiwis, I don't know. I mean, the Kiwis are so polite. I doubt they actually say it. They are super nice, Kiwis. Weird. I mean, it's awesome. Like Mormons. Mormons are really nice. You guys are always smiling and shit. It freaks me out. Normal people don't do that. Normal people aren't happy all the time. Come on now. That's crazy talk. House Republicans launch investigation into the distribution of LA fire charity funds. I love it. They're literally looking into it. Thank God. Kylie and Jordan? That sounds like a TV show. Is that they added that they want to examine? So that's Reps Kevin Kiley. He's a Republican from Rockland. And Jim Jordan from Ohio. So Kylie and Jordan. It's actually kind of sounds like a cool team name, right? Hey, if anyone is close to either of these people, dude, T-shirts. I think you guys got a thing there. Kylie and Jordan, make it cool. Make it great again. Make California great again. Something cool in there. Shit, I don't know. Get on it. Someone, make money. Make money again. Jack Ciatarelli. He's the dude that's running in New Jersey. And Mickey Sherrill is running, and she seems to be losing points. So again, my Joyzy people, come on, get out, make noise. You got to. If you are a Republican or an independent in Joyzy, hell, if you're a Democrat, I don't give a shit. Go vote for Ciatarelli. Let's get these people out. We got to get all the out. We got to get them down. Take the gubernatorial. The other person said it similar too. Did you notice? I don't think you could say the word and not be like the governor. You know, like you. How do you? I don't even know how you can. I don't think it's possible. Fuck that. You got to prove it. You have to send me a video of you saying it, the governor. Bullshit. I don't believe you. No. AI made it. Newsom spends $250 million on gerrymandering and then blames Trump for the $40 billion he's not getting. He's also been suing Trump left, right, and center, and he's like, "What? Trump's ignored our requests for large amounts of money to make up for the giant wildfire that we caused and then burnt down our own neighborhoods, and just, you know, we wanted a bunch of money from the government, and we just figured we'd burn up a neighborhood." And Trump's like, "Yeah, I don't really feel like doing that. In fact, like we saw, we're going to actually investigate what you did with all the money that that you guys raised for the Palisades people. It's quite a bit of money." And where the other one too, the permits. The permits are ridiculous. So again, LA and California both suck at the same time, right? Like it's like a shriveled up, like you get your left testicle's a little smaller than your right one. That California is the right one, and then the left one is LA or San Francisco, or just lump them all into there together. Basically what's happening. I don't want to listen to Newsom because he's stupid, but he says it's been over 9 months since the LA fires. And still, how many homes have been rebuilt there, Big Gaviny Goosum? You fucktard. I mean, you're beautiful, dude. Don't get me wrong. Like, you got the face for everything. You are like, I can't remember his name, the guy that took over Rick Dees's whole world. Forget his name too. I used to work at the company, but I don't work I didn't work in that market, if you will. Gavin Newsom, yeah, 9 months. LA fires. Okay. Well, it's no, Gavin. We're not listening to you. So, yeah, what is this? Trump taps longtime investigator to serve as next Justice Department watchdog. I guess he put in a new person. Where is his name? There it is. Don R. Berthiaume. If I say it confidently, will it matter? Right? Then you'll just start saying it the way I say it, right? Don R. Berthiaume. He's going to serve as the department's acting inspector general. I don't know what the IG does. I've heard it, but it's like the first time we're getting into this. Trump started to put like 107 people in recently, right, through the Senate. So a lot of things are kind of happening, and we're going to see. We're going to see. I don't know. It's getting exciting. Here is the Senate advancing a measure to stop President Trump and Pete Hegseth from unilaterally striking narco terrorists. The Democrats are trying to stop Trump from attacking the cocaine. Probably. They're like, it's not. Does it look okay? No, these dudes are nuts. They're funny as hell. They crack me up. My buddies crack me up. They crack me up. It's not a healthy problem. They know I'm not interested, but I love watching. I think it's funny as shit. Well, that's exciting. Look at that. Yay. Look at this action shot. This is fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're sitting down right now because the amount of excitement that's currently shown on the screen.
On this vote, the yeas are 48, the nays are 51, and the motion is not agreed to.
There you go. That was, woo! Oh, we should have pay-per-viewed that. I think. Donald Trump talking about the vaccines and just, he's making sense. It pisses him off for some weird reason. Again, why? Like, just what he's saying isn't wrong. Anyway, I'll let his words. He's better at doing Trump than I am.
About the Pennsylvania Dutch, you were talking about the Amish, where they don't take any of this stuff, and they have virtually none, right? They have no autism. So we're doing something very bad. Somebody's been given some bad things. Other countries, by the way, we have 82 vaccines that we give simultaneously. And I'm a vaccine believer, by the way. I believe in the polio vaccine. I believe in a lot of vaccines. But when you give 82 vaccines in a shot to a little baby that hasn't even formed yet, it's a lot of vaccines. And in Japan, they give a much smaller number. In Germany, they give a much smaller, like 28 vaccines. That's a lot, too. But 28's a lot different than 82. So, but I would say on the Tylenol, don't take it. And
hang on, I don't know if any of you caught that. I just did 28, 82, just the opposites of each other, same numbers. Isn't that interesting?
And that will be I think it's going to be a big factor. I think it'll be a very good result, and I hope we're going to be able to see that result in the not too distant future. Because certainly, people have heard us loud and clear. That's why I bring it up again. That's why I asked you to talk about it, because this is a horrible thing, and if you don't take it, you have to tough it through sometimes. There are other things you can do, but you have to tough it out. It's easy for me to say, but I think you're going to see numbers that will it'll be so significantly improved, and maybe fully improved. There's something there. There's something going on, and we have to address it. And so I'm addressing it the best I can as a non-doctor, but I'm a man of
common sense, I just saw this European Commission. They literally have this LGBT equality strategy from 2026 to 2030. They actually have a plan in place. I'm not being critical, Europe. Not yet, anyways. It'll happen. Oh, we got a new script. They gave me one. I printed it. Sorry. I just because it was easier than trying to pull an email up on the screen. MyPillow is excited to announce they're having the biggest 3-in-1 sale ever with a limited edition product, a back-in-stock special, and an overstock deal you won't find anywhere else. My slippers, only $39.98. Any color, any style. Regular $149.98, now only $39.98. Holy shizzle, my nizzle. That's $110 savings, folks. Once they're gone for good, and that's it. My towels are finally back in stock, but not for long. Not for long, folks. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regularly $69.98, and they're friggin' worth it. Only $39.98, baby. And for the first time, and only time ever, First and only time. Get their limited edition premium My Pillows, made with Giza cotton and a designer gusset. Queen, $17.98. Huh? What? Giza? The Giza ones? Premium My Pillows. Oh, the Giza cotton. Heck yeah. Queen, $17.98. Kings, only $19.98. Also, for a limited time, when you order is over $100, you will receive free shipping plus $100 in digital gifts. So go to mypillow.com or call. Yeah, we're supposed to give you the phone number here. I'm going to go to the mypillow.com/OTF. At the top, there's a phone number. Order now, 1-800-544-8939. Once again, that's 1-800-544-8939. Yeah, go to mypillow.com/OTF. Mypillow.com/OTF. Sometimes it's hard, like the radio part of me, like just wants to be Knoxville's classic rock. Like it was funnest times. Good times. They've got a lot of great stuff. You should check it out. Just go to the site, buy some stuff. You're helping out a whole bunch of things. American company, and just amazing products. Anything they make. I have not had one thing that even their energy drink is friggin-tastic. No calories, hardly any salt. Like it's like literally like 10 milligrams or something stupid. Like it's ridiculous. I have not tried the socks yet. I have them. They're here. I haven't tried them yet. It's going to happen. I'm just not, it's not an... I haven't lost enough socks yet. I don't want to add to the drawer. It's already pretty stuffed with, I got a lot of socks. I like socks. Socks are good things. Go to mypillow.com though, right? Check them out. And the dog beds too, if you actually love your dog. For those of you that don't actually care about your animals and you let them sleep outside unless they want to. Anyways, that's not nice. $39.98 for a bed. That's where they start. mypillow.com/OTF. mypillow.com/OTF. Get the best night of sleep you have ever had. Thank you very much. All right, China. Got a little China news. They've placed new restrictions on rare earth exports, specifically to us. Anything military. We're at, again, I've said it before, we're at war with China. The way that our stock markets are responding and there's just a lot going on. And most of it's like, hey, look over here. And really what's happening is over here. So there is a war with China and us. They messed with our elections. That is an act of war. Trump supposedly was commander-in-chief during that. So we are in a interesting place. They're breaking the trade agreement, by the way, which means tariffs and everything. So we're about to get a little bit saucy with China, probably. This is going to be interesting. This is setting up some very interesting stuff. OpenAI accusing China of exploiting ChatGPT for authoritarian abuses. It's against the rules and regulations or whatever, right? So agreements or whatever they say, right? The stupid things. The EULA. So great firewall. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. So whatever the case, China's pissing everybody off. China also constructs a mock Taipei for invasion drills. They are funny how they do it. They did our aircraft carriers in the middle of the desert. You guys remember that? They want to practice, make sure they're perfect. So now they've built a mock city that they're going to invade. They got to know we're watching this, right? It's like you can't hide this. You're building it out. Put a big tent over it at least so we can pretend it's not there. Anyway, I don't know. Israel. Everyone wants to give Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. Can you imagine how much that'd piss off all the TDS people? Shit, they'd stroke out. It would be fantastic. Donald Trump truthed this out. I'm very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all of the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. All parties will be treated fairly. This is a great day for the Arab and Muslim world, Israel, all surrounding nations, and the United States of America. And we thank the mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and Turkey who worked with us to make this historic and unprecedented event happen. Blessed are the peacemakers. Donald Trump, President of the United States of America. Yeah, all that stuff. All capital letters, too, by the way. Interesting. So this is a big-time agreement shutting down something. I don't know, maybe shutting down a capital letter thing just to kind of get a little saucy for you guys, but kind of feels like that a little, right? It's strange how things are playing out right now. Deep State's freaking out too. Oh yeah, this is pretty awesome, right? You see this? This is pretty cool. Check this out.
Okay. I'm just given. Yeah, I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly. So I will take a couple of more questions.
Isn't that interesting? Big deal in the Middle East, right? Of course, this is funny. They're sort of making fun or comparing. Remember back in 9/11 when he was in the middle of the school thing, and he was talking about fire, plane, building, like the words they were using. Anyway, it's all very strange. Everything about this was strange. It was strange back then. Many of you have gone back and looked backward, which I highly recommend. I recommend you go backwards at least 5,000 to 6,000 years. My recommendation. At least. I even recommend going further if you can. Anywho, we have war, and Trump says we have peace. An end of the capital letter. Just saying, don't know. Right? Dan's crazy. What's he talking about? Who knows? I don't know what I'm talking about. Nobody does. Hostages and Missing Families Forum, they all signed this thing. They're stoked. The hostages are being released. Again, Nobel Peace Prize. It's amazing. Fetterman congratulates Trump on the historic peace plan. Again, a lot of people hate Fetterman. He's a Democrat. I got you. I like the fact that he's a Democrat that stands up against his own people. I like it when any of them do it. Manchin, I give him, anytime any of them have the balls to stand up or forget that. My female biology is failing me right now. Ovaries, I guess, at least. I was thinking the tubes. Fallopian tubes? Anyway, whatever. What are the ones that float right above the ovaries? Those are the ones I think in my mind. Anyhow, doesn't matter. It was still a giant fail. Who's ever got enough fortitude to stand up against everybody else, I give huge points to. I don't care what side of the fence you are. Just the fact that you have the guts to stand up, you're awesome, okay? We might still disagree on a whole bunch of shit, but you're awesome. I just have mad respect for somebody that can do that, and you're not fighting, you're not standing up for like violence and, racism and the shit that everybody else is standing up for. I think we've actually got him talking. Yeah, he's talking in some regard about this kind of stuff.
I think the whole point of having a Nobel Peace Prize is for ending wars and promoting peace. And I'm going to make a direct appeal to the president. I hope he chooses to provide the tomahawks to the Ukrainians too, and give them the tools that they need to push back against Russia. And if he brings the Ukrainian war to its end, I will be the Democrat leading the committee for his Nobel Prize Peace for ending both of these terrible wars.
He still has the little backwards brain thinking, right? But yeah, he does. He's a lot better than he was after the surgery or whatever. You guys remember that? Oh, he was bad. He was bad early on. He actually needed the machine and stuff. Oh, it was messed up. But he's come a long way. It's good. Good for him. Gaza ceasefire and hostage releases expected within days. So both sides are celebrating. Like this is, 3,000 years of war, something to that effect. Not sure which one's the ball side, though. I'm still trying to figure out who that is. One of the sides is that I know who's going to claim what, but I'm wondering who's who, frankly. Anyway, there are. Peace is coming, friends. Peace is coming. Yeah, this kind of came out after, which is super duper. Hamas declares end of war and start of permanent ceasefire. Hamas declares this as well. Hamas exiled Gaza chief Khalil al-Hayya said in a televised speech, "We declare an end to the war today and start of permanent ceasefire. The agreement includes opening Rafah crossing in both directions. The agreement will see the release by Israel of all jailed Palestinian women and children. The group received guarantees from the United States, Arab mediators, and Turkey that the war on Gaza has permanently ended." That's pretty freaking crazy, right? I mean, if you think about it, that's wild and crazy. France, they're naming another prime minister. He doesn't want to have an election, probably because it'll take too long. And his election's not until like 2027. So this douche is going to sit in office. I think France, I don't know how to say it, stupid French languages. But you all need to friggin', how do you get him out? Can you impeach a president or what? What do you do? Other than your stupid running around in green vests thing, can you do something legally and get him out, impeach him type thing? Just wondering, asking for a friend. They're French. I know a French person. One, I'm just kidding. I know a few. Most of them are pretty pissed off at me for the stupid jokes I make. Anyway, it's not my fault that I'm racist against the French. Massive mystery fire engulfs defense-linked factory and Russia's east side. They got, I don't know, just blew up. They don't know what happened. I don't know if it got hit by a drone or if someone blew it up from the inside. Probably blowed it up from the inside, if you will, because it just is way too big of a destruction. Those drones don't pack, I mean, they pack a punch, but not anything that impressive, especially in some of the distances they've been getting. So, I mean, because they've got to let go of a lot of weight of a warhead to be able to fly it that far. And at that point, it's more of like a terror weapon at best. But meh, it's not going there. A lot happening, folks. And I've got music too. For you guys that are this far into it, you probably like to, typically. Music show this weekend is going to be, or tomorrow is going to be epic. Oh, so cool. Ladies. What I'm calling it, so I'm selling this is kind of the way I sold it in my mind, and so this is the thumbnail. I've already made it. This is friggin' awesome. But it's like the concept of ladies being very, you guys know I like boobies. Okay, so boobies were a factor in this. And I was thinking Dusk Till Dawn when I thought of it. I found a pretty cool, perfect scene. So it's live ladies, like, a triple X kind of thing. Live ladies. And don't search triple X, by the way. If you do that, you'll be surprised the images that'll pop up. I was like, okay, that's, I was thinking totally different direction than that. So anyway, that was a shock. And then it's live ladies of rock, of classic rock, or of rock, of something to that effect. I think it's of rock. And that's what it is. I got some of the best classic rock chicas out there live. Now, I broke a rule because I had to. There's a rule where I always get the best quality that I can possibly get for a song. I don't care if it's live. I don't care if it's not live. But today it had to be live for this show. So I've actually got some 480 stuff in there, which is unfortunate, but it was the best I could find. It was such a good version of that song. But I've got some really good music, and I think you guys are going to dig it. And dudes, there's a few of them where I swear to God, it looked like it was cold on stage. I'm just going to say. Maybe that was an accident. I don't know. It always makes the song sound better, in my opinion. That said, we've got a lot happening. I've got of course, Live 1 happening today. It's like 1 o'clock right now, so I'll be filming that live, or doing live 3 o'clock coming up here shortly. I love you guys. We're going to keep moving forward. There's a lot happening. Deep State are getting pushed into a corner, and just, be ready for anything, because we're in it. It's Red October. It has to be. I don't know how we can make it after our 250th anniversary is this coming July, right? This coming 4th of July. Shit's got to be done by then, and then we've got an election coming right after that, right? So this kind of has to be the reddest of Red Octobers. We'll find out. Where we go one, we freaking go all, baby. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.